2 to 1. Oh, and we're live. Today we're going to look at odds, and really odds are just the way, it's a way of expressing the likelihood of an event, and it's just a little bit different than probability, a slightly different way of expressing that, but really it's so closely related to probability that we can translate back and forth. Okay, if you have good attendance, the odds of passing a course is 8 to 1. What's the probability of passing if you have good attendance? What we're doing here is we're expressing this likelihood as odds here, odds in favor of passing, and we're going to turn this into a probability of passing. And so obviously, if you have good attendance, 8 people are passing, 1 person isn't passing. Altogether, there are 9 people in that sample space, and the probability of the favorable event is 8/9. And so as you can see, we've gone from expressing a likelihood as odds to expressing a likelihood as a probability. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. So let's go to a different example here, and we're going to go from a probability. So in other words, expressing a likelihood as a probability, and we're going to convert it into expressing it in terms of odds. Odds and sods. Okay, so my favorite activity. No, this isn't my favorite activity, but it's maybe over top of watching television, for example. Okay. The probability of getting a basket. Oops. So the probability of getting a basket. Sinking a basket. From 1 meter away is 3/10. And so I'm expressing this probability as a fraction. And so we can rewrite that. Probability of getting a basket is 3/10. What are the odds? Odds in favor of sinking a basket. From 1 meter. Okay, so we have probability of getting a basket is 3 in 10. We are interested in the probability of not getting a basket, which is 7 in 10. Really, it's 1 minus 3 in 10. Okay, so this is the complement of the event of getting a basket. And so we can express the odds in favor of getting a basket actually as 3 to 7. Or if I wanted to express that as a fraction, I could express it as 3/7. So we can actually summarize this whole thing fairly quickly. Okay, so if the odds in favor So if the odds in favor of an event, just in generally, could be expressed fractionally as h over k. And so in this case, 3/7. The probability of the event is equal to h over H plus K. Because if you recall, the odds in favor of our event expressed as a fraction are 3 to 7, and the probability of that event was 3 out of 10. So 3/10 probability of that event happening. And odds so we can find odds from probability and expressed as a fraction, which we can then turn into that notation where we use a colon. So the odds are the probability of the event happening over the probability of the event not happening. So in our previous example, the probability of getting a basket was 3/10. The probability of not getting a basket was 1 minus 3/10 or 7/10. And if we do the division, invert and multiply, this winds up being expressed as a fraction. The odds in favor of getting a basket were 3 over 7 or 3 to 7. And those are the odds.